consequences in the trenches, gotta stay alert. These little babies born with their futures in reverse.
Is fighting to regain custody of their 5 young children. It happened after Bianca Claiborne and Deontay Williams were arrested on misdemeanor marijuana charges in Coffee County, Tennessee.
Tell me the emotions that you process every day you wake up without your children home.
Man, it's hard. It's undescribable. It's undescribable. I couldn't even give you words. Honestly, it hurt, pain.
This all stems from a traffic stop on their way to a funeral in Chicago.
The arrest warrant states Tennessee Highway Patrol troopers pulled the family over for, quote, dark tint traveling in the left lane when not actively passing.
This happened to them February 17th, and then they had the kids in foster care with another family. And then they were saying that they couldn't keep all of the kids. It was too much on them, and they had to separate all of the children. And I said, well, let me see if I can get them. And so we did. They did the home study. They did everything that they had to do and approved my home for the children. So I've been having them since March the 1st.
So how have your lives changed over the course of a month?
As far as like my day-to-day, I'm used to waking up every 2-3 hours to breastfeed, or when it's time for school, waking the kids up, going to school, going to the bus stop. We alternate. When it's time to come from school, we see the bus or hear the bus, and it's just like, you know, it's painful because our kids are not coming off the bus.
An estimated 5 grams of a substance believed to be marijuana was found in the vehicle. That alone typically would not be enough to justify removing 5 children from a family.
What has been told to the kids about the situation and what's happening to them and why they're not home?
Well, I don't know. DCS was telling them that that mom and dad right now, they can't get you guys. And I don't know where they got this narrative from that the kids told them that dad roll up weed and I'm riding in a car with them. And I don't know where that came from. And that's what they were saying, that this was the kids telling them this. And that's not even a conversation the kids even know to even bring up or even say.
You know, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm in school. It was in school until everything occurred. I was actually going for child development, you know, so I'm not I'm painted out there as something that I'm not, and it's defamation of my character, and that's not, you know, I'm not that person. I know who I am, and I know how much I love my kids and how my kids love me.
The Coffee County justice system was absolutely out of line for taking their children over a misdemeanor charge.
You're also in a very unique position because you are also an interim director for your local National Action Network chapter. So bringing that into the fold, what are you calling for in this case in general? What is the National Action Network calling for?
So first of all, I want to call for a complaint. We need to file a complaint of what has taken place. I need these kids to go get back with their parents, as soon as possible. I think that for them to say they had to wait for drug screening to come back, I think when you had her in court and did a urine test again, that should have been enough. So to keep sending me around the roses and all of that kind of stuff, it's ridiculous. And I think that they jumped to a conclusion and they had their own alternative motive into doing what they did and why they did it. And so all of that needs to be reviewed. And I think DCS need to stop everything that they're doing, and they need to go back and review every case that has happened in Coffee County.
I am demanding publicly that DCS give this family their children back. The Coffee County justice system was absolutely out of line for taking their children over a misdemeanor charge. It is absolutely ridiculous, and that's an overuse of power. DCS, Coffee County, y'all need to do the right thing before the situation gets worse.
I reached out to DCS asking for an explanation, and I'm...
How fucking ironic is that? No, they're doing business. This is the news I have for you. If you have a child, if you know somebody that has a child, any parents, please tag them in this video. Guys, if DHS or Child Protective Services ever comes to your home to question you or ask you questions or try to enter your home, I want you to know that when you let them enter your home, you give them jurisdiction. Keep their ass outside, okay? Now, that's number one. Number two, you guys think that they're coming because the teacher told them something or because the neighbor said something or somebody whispered something bad about your home and how you're raising your child. I have news for you. All of this shit is about business, okay? These agencies get $3.3 million per child. Yes, $3.3 million. Where's the money come from? 1.5 comes from the father's SQV trust. 1.5 comes from the mother's SQV trust. 300,000 comes from the government entitled D&E funds. Yep, right here. Go read it. Go look it up. Okay. Now, every agent gets a bonus of $40,000 every time they get a child outside of the home. This is about business. This is not about protecting children. And another thing, all of those 800,000 kids every year that are lost due to child trafficking and all this crazy shit, 640,000 of those kids were in
This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation. And so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! Justice! No peace! No 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 justice! No peace!
Hey everybody, Christina Laster here. I'm about to put some numbers up. Get your phones out, take a screenshot, and instead of looking at this and saying, wow, what a horrible story, we need to hold accountability, right? They can no longer just strip our children away from us. Many families, black children and families, have been impacted for decades by the Department of Children's Services, Child Protective Services. I call it illegal kidnapping services for monetary gain. I call it government pyramid scheme, whatever it may be. And so they need to understand that we put our foot down right here, lay it down in the sand. You cannot come and get our children, illegally kidnap our children, while you got people throwing babies in trash cans, abusing them, pedophiles, all kind of stuff. They're not looking for those people because they're too busy targeting our children, taking money off of the backs of our children. It's just, it's neo-slavery. Bottom line, target the parents. Let's see who's vulnerable. Make up some stuff. Do whatever we want. It's like $5,000 a kid right now in Tennessee or more. So it's been about $300,000 that the Department of Child Services have received in Tennessee and hasn't provided the foster care person, Miss Cheryl, with $1. Okay? And so this is where the community has to come in, help out, pick up the phone, take a screenshot of these numbers. Make sure you do. And on Monday, we gonna stomp the yard. All right.
Consequences in the trenches, gotta stay alert. These little babies born with their futures in reverse. Raised in the West, taking calculated steps. Nigga, I join forces with some hitters, so I'm never stressed. I join forces, cause in the war zone, real niggas feel the heat. A cold-hearted game, it ain't all about the fame. Put the fam first and let the good Lord do his thing. It's a lonely ride, stay in my own lane. Discover what you here for and live for it. If you ain't built for it, why get killed for it?
Friends make the best enemy, so I'm watching who eyes is on me. Everybody ain't built for it, so I know that the ride will be lonely. Oh, stay focused on my focus. I'm a dream in the eyes of the hopeless. But these streets I feel